We begin our broadcast with the front page, a digest of news that happened after the show yesterday and while we were sleeping. The House Oversight Committee has come up with more information. This from NEWSMAX. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer has delivered a third round of bank records, bringing the official paper trail of payments to more than $20 million from Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan during Joe Biden's vice presidency. The committee now has identified over $20 million in payments from foreign sources to the Biden family and their business associates, according to the memo that was released yesterday. President Joe Biden has infamously joked, okay, where's the money? And Ukraine energy oligarch said it would take 10 years to unwind the paper trail. Comer has promised more of these kinds of documents. In his allegations regarding the Biden family, the investigation is now in its seventh month. The reply was very, very quick from USA Today. They said this: Republicans on the House Oversight Committee issued another report yesterday criticizing President Joe Biden and his family for allegedly corrupt international business dealings, but critics, including the White House, said the report is a political hatchet job that offers no proof that President Biden was involved. The 19-page report was titled, quote, Third Bank Records Memorandum from the Oversight Committee's investigation into the Biden family's influence peddling and business schemes. Critics said that report and Comer's statement marked a clear shift in strategy by the committee from one claiming that it had goods implicating President Biden in corrupt schemes while he was vice president to one in which it says the lack of any such evidence must mean he was involved. President Biden, for his part, snapped at Fox News Peter Doocy yesterday over a question about the president's son, Hunter, and his business dealings. There's this testimony now where one of your son's former business associates is claiming that you were on a speakerphone a lot speaking business with his associates. This was Doocy at a public event in Belen, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, that's Belen, New Mexico. I never talked business with anybody, said President Biden, and I knew you'd have a lousy question. Doocy then pressed the president, asking him, what makes it a lousy question? Biden responded, because it's not true. CBS News now reports that special counsel Jack Smith obtained a search warrant for information about former President Donald Trump's Twitter account earlier this year as a part of his investigation into the aftermath of the 2020 election. This, according to court records unsealed yesterday. A ruling by a three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia revealed a lengthy battle that played out behind closed doors between the Justice Department and then the Elon Musk-owned social platform now known as X. Smith obtained the warrant for data and records pertaining to the Twitter account of @RealDonaldTrump on January 17, 2023, along with a non-disclosure order prohibiting Twitter from sharing the existence of the warrant or its contents to anyone. Twitter was ultimately held in civil contempt, fined $350,000 for twice failing to comply with that warrant. The House Republicans say the FBI has obtained, or they've obtained from the FBI, that the memo that said that several field offices contributed to targeting Catholics as potential terrorists, conflicting with recent sworn testimony from FBI Director Christopher Wray. Republican leadership on the House Judiciary Committee revealed in a letter to Wray on Wednesday. It said the document they subpoenaed from the agency details how, quote, both FBI Portland and FBI Los Angeles field offices were involved in or contributed to the creation of the FBI assessment of traditional Catholics as potential domestic terrorists. This new information suggests the FBI use of law enforcement capabilities to intrude on America's First Amendment rights is more widespread than initially suspected. This, according to Chairman Jim Jordan, the Republican from Ohio, and co-chair Representative Mike Johnson, both Republicans, Mike Johnson from Louisiana, writing in that letter. USA Today reports the FBI shot and killed a man in Utah while agents were trying to arrest him at his home for making threatening statements targeting President Joe Biden ahead of his visit to the state. The man, Provo resident Craig DeLew Robertson, 75 years of age, was charged Tuesday with 3 felony counts for threats against the president, making interstate threats, and influencing, impeding, and retaliating against federal law enforcement and officers by threat. The shooting occurred at about 6:15 in the morning, Mountain Daylight Time. It happened yesterday when agents attempted to arrest Roberts and serve warrants at his home. On Sunday, according to charging documents, Robertson posted the following on his Facebook account, quote, "I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon in chief." In national news today, out of Quito, Ecuador, reported by USA Today, an Ecuadorian presidential candidate known for speaking up against corruption was shot and killed yesterday at a political rally in the capital amid a wave of startling violence in the South American country. President Guillermo Lasso confirmed the assassination of Fernando Villavicencio, suggesting organized crime was behind the slaying. Villavicencio was one of 8 candidates in the August 20th presidential vote, though not the frontrunner. The politician was 59 years old. He was the candidate for the Build Ecuador movement. "I assure you this crime will not go unpunished," said Lasso. "Organized crime has gone too far. They will feel the full weight of the law." U.S. government is alleged to have contributed to a Pakistani coup. The former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, was forced out of office at the behest of the U.S. Department of State over his refusal to take sides in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This alleged by a diplomatic cable leaked to the National Pulse. Asad Majid Khan, Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, was encouraged by State Department officials, including Assistant Secretary Donald Liu, to tell Pakistan's politically powerful military that if Prime Minister Khan were removed from power, the Central Asian nation could expect warmer relations with the United States. If Prime Minister Khan were not removed or was not removed, Pakistan's generals were told the nation would face economic and political isolation. The foreign policy shakedown is not dissimilar to the tactic deployed by President Biden himself when discussing the removal of a top prosecutor in Ukraine. A Russian super yacht in government possession, the U.S. government possession, costs about $1 million in maintenance per month. This from CBS 8 TV in San Diego, California. A $325 million Russian yacht seized by the U.S. government more than a year ago was seen cruising around San Diego Bay this week. A ferryboat employee posted video on Facebook of the Amadea in the waters Tuesday off of downtown San Diego. The Amadea has been docked in National City for the past 13 months. U.S. taxpayers are footing the bill to maintain it to a tune of an estimated $1 million per month. The U.S. Department of Justice has not filed a court case that would allow the super yacht to be sold at auction. In news of the states today, in Hawaii, wind-whipped wildfires in Hawaii forced hundreds of evacuations yesterday, overwhelming hospitals, even sending some residents fleeing into the ocean to escape the flames as part of the popular tourist destination turns into a raging inferno in a matter of hours. At least 36 people have died in the Lahaina fire in Hawaii. Maui County Maui County wrote in a statement posted to the county website yesterday evening. Officials said earlier 271 structures were damaged or destroyed and dozens of people injured. Entire blocks of homes and businesses went up in smoke in historic Lahaina, that's the Lahaina town in Maui, where blazes fueled by wind from a passing hurricane were concentrated. In addition, 3 wildfires were burning on the Big Island, though 2 of them were at least 60% contained. Out of New York City mayor is asking for more federal aid. This from ABC News. With thousands of migrants still arriving in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams yesterday renewed his appeal to the federal government to help the city avert a budgetary crisis as expenses mount, now projected at $12.2 billion by the end of next year because of the influx of people coming from the southern U.S. border seeking temporary care and shelter. Our compassion may be limitless, but our resources are not, said the mayor. This is the budgetary reality that we're facing if we don't get additional support. Adams said this during an address that sought to put the onus on the Biden administration to help relieve the city from the growing financial burden experienced because of the immigrants. Quote, New Yorkers did not create an international humanitarian crisis, but our city's residents have been left to deal with this crisis almost entirely on our own, according to the mayor. Out of Massachusetts from Fox News, a Massachusetts couple suing the state's Department of Children and Families said they were shocked when they first were informed of the reason why their foster application was denied. Mike and Catherine Burke, both devout Catholics, filed a federal lawsuit this week with the help of a religious liberty group, Becket Law, claiming the state restricted them from fostering children due to their adherence to Catholicism and their teachings on gender, sexuality, and marriage. According to their attorney, the state listed only one reason for denying their foster application, which was they would not be affirming to a child who identified as LGBTQIA. Corporate news this morning, there is a lawsuit filed by stockholders against Target for their ideas of certain product placement. This from NEWSMAX, a conservative legal group run by Stephen Miller, a former senior advisor in the Trump administration, is suing Target, alleging the retail company misrepresented risk to shareholders before there was customer backlash over the LGBTQ pride-themed merchandise. America First Legal filed the lawsuit Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Fort Myers, Florida, on behalf of shareholder Brian Craig, accusing the company, CEO Brian Cornell, and Target's board of directors for betraying their customers and shareholders with misleading representation about its environmental, social, and governance, ESG, with diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates, and also for causing shareholders to lose billions of dollars. Controversy erupted in May, and boycotts of Target were called for after the company rollout of its LGBTQ merchandise. Products included children one-piece swimsuits with closing tags that describe the items as having, quote, a light binding effect on breasts and, quote, tuck-friendly construction for male genitalia with, quote, extra crotch coverage.